I'm Dr. Kimamo Ogidoi, and I'm going to take you through the unit BAG 4214, Agricultural Value Chain and Analysis. Today's topic is on marketing and marketing research. Now, in very, very simple terms, when you are talking about marketing something, let's take an example. I am a farmer, and I have just grown in my 10-hectare farm a new variety of mangoes. Now, they are now ready, and since these mangoes, I was not planting them for family consumption, I need to let people know that there is a new variety of mangoes in the market, and therefore, how do I get them to know? These are the potential consumers, my potential clients. They need to know what I have. Like some of you may have read in somewhere, like in the Holy Book, about lighting a lamp and then covering it. You are in darkness, you have got your lamp, it's lit, but it will not help you. Therefore, in marketing, whatever we have produced, we would like people to know about it, to know the qualities it has, to know the value that we are adding to the ordinary or existing products in the market or commodities, and therefore we need to let people know. And we can do it using a variety of ways. However, as we look at marketing, let's look at the standard definitions of marketing. Marketing refers to engaging potential customers and other people so as to ultimately sell a product or a service to them, and thereafter maintain a relationship beyond the purchase. So it's not enough that once you have bought my new variety of mangoes, I leave it at that. Once you have got, for example, mango juice, which we referred to as value-added product now, from the commodity to an improved product that has longer shelf life, like mango juice. Once you have done, you have purchased. That should not be the end of a relationship between me, the producer, processor, and you, the consumer. I should be able to follow it up and find out, are you satisfied with the product that I have made? Are you satisfied with the price? Are you satisfied with the availability when you need it? So those are some of the questions that a marketer needs to answer and to find out. The second definition that we can look at, when we now narrow down to agriculture, since our unit is agricultural. So agricultural marketing, process of creating interest in potential customers and existing clients to purchase an agricultural commodity, product, or service. Creating interest is the key word. That these potential customers, they need to know something about what I have produced. And we need to differentiate here between a commodity and a product. When it is a commodity, that's what I harvest from my farm. When it is now a product, I may have gone a step or two further than the harvest. And that's what we are calling value addition. For example, when I harvest my mangoes, they are perishable, and therefore to prolong the shelf life, what do? I take a step further by processing into a juice. And this juice, with the permitted preservatives, is going to have a shelf life of maybe 1 year. And therefore, I can reach to potential clients or consumers who are far out, 300 or 400 kilometers away or even abroad, with my new value-added product. So my product now is the mango juice. The commodity was the raw mangoes. So that's why in agriculture, that creating interest, you let people know what you have, the qualities it has, the value you have added into it, and therefore it's available to them. And in a nutshell, market research, it involves advertising, promoting, and distributing an agricultural service, commodity, or product to potential customers. So this advertising, promoting, is what basically constitutes marketing, but in market research you have to go beyond that. and we are going to look at the details in a while. Now we look at the second aspect of our topic. This is the marketing research. And the standard definition of this marketing research is the systematic gathering, recording, and analyzing of data and information about problems relating to marketing of goods and services and essentially non-recurring conditions. In market research, you need to determine the characteristics of the market. For example, in terms of its size. What is the size of the market? Is it one individual? Is it 1,000 individuals? Requirements, the growth rate, market segments, customer satisfaction, and competitor positioning. You're always competing. When I have this product, another farmer has a similar commodity or product, and maybe a third and a fourth one. So we need to know who are my competitors. We are sharing the same potential clients, and how do I get more customers coming my way than my competitors? Then finally, we would also want to mention that marketing research is concerned with the collection analysis of information that a company requires or a farmer requires so that the management of that farm can make informed decisions relating to some of the following aspects. We need to know the type of goods needed by the customers. What is it that these customers want in this area? The time when they want the products. Is it at the beginning of the season? Is it at the end of the season? When is it? Then the quantity required. Do they need 1 ton? Do they need 100 tons? We need to have that information so that we can address it appropriately. Then the rival products in the market. Who is competing with us? Why is their product perhaps selling better than ours? So we need to have information on the rival products that are in the market. Then what are these competitors offering that we are not offering? Is there something they are doing to their product that perhaps raises it's a little higher in terms of quality than ours? Then who are the exact customers? Who are they? Is it the youth? Is it the adults? Is it the elderly? Is it the senior citizens? Who are these customers? Then why do the customers prefer a certain product over the others? That information we need in marketing research, and marketing research should be able to provide answers to those questions. Then what is the price range that is acceptable by the customers? Our products are perhaps too expensive or perhaps too cheap that some of them may equate the price with the quality, and therefore we need to strike a middle ground. But for us to do that, marketing research must provide that information or that data. And finally, the size of the market. What is the size of our market? Are we perhaps targeting 100 consumers or potential clients, 1,000 or 10,000 or a million customers? We need to have that information so as we produce, then we don't have quantities that lie in the shelf and they are unsold. Now, questions that market research attempts to address. The first one is what? What is the product? What is the product that we are trying to market? Who are the buyers? Who are the potential customers of this product? Now, why are they buying this product or this commodity or this service? How do they use it when they purchase? So we need to know why they buy it. How do they buy it? We need to answer that question. When do they buy it? Is it, like we said, is it in the beginning of the season? Is it in the middle of the season? Is it during the rains, during a drought? Or when do they buy it? We need that answer, and that will come from marketing research. Now, where do they buy this product? Do they come to the farm to buy it? Do they go to the brokers? Do they go to the agents? Do they go to other outlets like the supermarket as they search for that commodity? So the answers to these questions, they help the company or the management to make decisions on where to direct their energy based on the answers to these questions: the what, the who, why, how, when, and where. The next aspect of marketing research, we would like to consider the types of market research. We would like to look at 4. These are not the only ones, but for the time being, let's look at these 4. We have the descriptive research, exploratory, causal, and predictive. Now let's look at the first one very briefly. This the descriptive research is concerned with measuring and estimating the frequencies with which the things occur, or the degree of correlation or association between the various variables. You remember these variables are independent variables and the dependent variables. They have to be considered as you try to quantify. And then in this type of research, the reports that are generated by descriptive research, they describe, they measure the market size, market structure, the behavior and attitudes of consumers and potential clients. The causal research. This causal, let's go back a little. Causal comes from the English word cause. Cause. What is causing this? So in causal research, we are concerned with finding out the cause and effect relationship. When you do this, what is the effect? So what is the cause and what is the effect? So this relationship attempts to explain why things happen the way they happen. And we can take an example here that's perhaps more, it may not be agricultural for the time being, but to what extent has television advertising contributed to the volume of sales of milk or milk products in the last 3 months? Yes, we have been advertising. We have been trying to promote this new yogurt that we are producing. So has it had any effect on the volume of sales? Has the volume of sales gone lower, remained static, or has it gone higher? So this causal research would help us to answer that question. To what extent has this? It will now be quantitative. To what extent? Then we can take another example. To what degree has the elasticity of demand for tilapia, the tilapia fish we produce in Kenya, been affected by the importation of fish from China? We may have been selling this volume of fish to our customers, but since the importation of fish from outside, how has that affected our sales? That is a question that is supposed to be answered by causal research, cause and effect. Then we have the exploratory. So this is concerned with identifying the nature of research problems, the problems that the sector may be facing, and thereafter formulating relevant hypotheses for testing. So a marketer undertakes this type of research in order to generate an adequate basis for designing a research study. This type of research is used when very little is known about the problem that is being examined. Let's take an example here. For example, what would be the best mode of communication and advertising to reach migrant communities who do not speak English or Swahili? We have a product here. We have a population of potential clients. They are based in one corner of our republic. Maybe they are in a refugee camp established by UNHCR, who would like to reach these people, but they do not speak English, they don't speak Kiswahili. How do we let them know that we have this product that may be very useful to them? How do we get an answer to that? Exploratory research. We have to send researchers there to find out what is the mode of communication in that area that would help us and help the client. What language do they use? What media is available to them? Is it the radio? Is it television? Is it the cell phone, etc.? Those answers can only come from this type of research. Then we have a predictive, and I can see from the word predict, forecast, what is likely to happen. So in this type of research, the main focus is to project or to predict or find out future sales, extrapolate this new commodity or product in light of this competition. Is our graph going to be horizontal, or is it going to shoot up, or is it going to go down? So this kind of research helps us to answer that question. We predict that if you continue this way, if you don't advertise perhaps more, your sales are going to go down, to drop. If you maintain the same level of advertising in different media, then this is likely to happen. We get those answers from predictive research. Now, for them to be able to answer the questions that we may be asking, it requires a gathering of data or information on the consumers, their buying habits, their ability to buy, attitude towards the new products, disposable income segment, and then we compare these findings with existing trends so that we can be able to forecast future trends. Now, who are the users of market research? Agricultural farms. Farmers need this information. Agribusiness companies that deal with either agricultural commodities or machinery or chemicals that a farmer uses or that are used in agriculture. Marketing agents, they need that information so that they can direct their effort or focus to the potential clients. Then marketing intermediaries, these are the brokers. The brokers will come and find out what's available in the farm or what has been processed, and they'll reach out to the potential customers, and then they link the two, the producer and the consumer. Then we have these consumer organizations that perhaps always are looking out for new products, and then they are able to advise their consumers. Then we have the actual consumers themselves, who come either as individuals, as communities, as a group, and so on. All these people benefit from market research. They are more informed, and therefore as they buy any product, they're in a better position to decide on whether to buy this one or the other, and the reasons behind it. Is it the quality? Is it the cost? And so on. Then in marketing research, a very, very important subtopic here, what procedures does marketing research follow? So marketing research is not haphazard. There is a procedure that follows from step number 1, number 2, and so on until the end, when they provide a report or the answers to what they are searching for. So the first one is a researcher needs to identify the problem. Statement of the need. This need may either be reported or observed. So the researcher needs to have very, very clear what the problem is. Now, when that has been done, the researcher needs to establish the objectives. What will be the objectives of my research study? Is it on the quality? Is it on consumer behavior? So I need to have objectives before I embark on the study. Then out of the objectives, I'll formulate research questions. Very specific questions that I am supposed to answer as I do my research. As I gather my data by various means, what question should I answer that will eventually help to address the problem that I stated in number 1. The next one, what kind of information do I need for me to be able to answer the research questions? Will this information, will it be quantitative? Will it be qualitative? What kind of information do I need? Then, who is going to provide this information to the researcher? So we have the primary and secondary sources. Or in the primary sources, you go to either the actual person or the real specimen. For secondary sources, you go to published material, books, journals, libraries, internet, and so on. Then you decide on the research design that will be used, and we are going to look at this later. Next step is you collect the data or information. You go to the field where you now meet the consumers in the supermarket, in the areas of operation, and then you get first-hand information under the primary segment, where we said for the primary source of information, you go to the actual person or organization or the firm itself. So you collect information from various clients or potential clients. After you have collected all the information you need, then you need to analyze that data analysis, and then after you have analyzed the data, you interpret. When I draw a graph, a line graph, what does it tell me? Then I summarize it. And finally, we have a summary of the findings, the conclusions we have made about the problem, and then recommendations for you to be able to succeed in this area or this area. This is what we found. This is the existing situation. Then we are recommending that for you to capture a larger segment of the market, you need to do ABCD. Now, methods of collecting data or information. We had mentioned primary sources and secondary sources. So let's look at details of these methods of collecting data. So primary data can be collected by survey method. This is where you have interviews and questionnaires. Interviews, you now get in touch with the subject, and then you have prepared an interview guide or an interview schedule, and they respond to the questions as you record the answers or their views or their comments. Questionnaires, you formulate your questionnaires, again in line with the questions that you had formulated, and then you leave the questionnaire to the respondents. They fill in the details of what you have asked, but remember, whatever you had asked should be relevant to the research problem or the statement of the problem that you had identified earlier. So the questionnaires, normally they are self-administered. You leave the questionnaire with the respondent. When they are through with it, then you collect it, and finally you interpret or you analyze the data that you have collected from the interview, from the questionnaires, and then you proceed to the next step. You can also use the observation method for collecting data, where you go either to the field, to the market, to the supermarkets, and you just observe the behavior of the clients. What are they buying? What are they picking? What are they skipping? Then you can also obtain information by carrying out experiments. This is not an easy method to do, especially when it involves human subjects. It involves a lot of persuasion and consent for you to be able to do that. However, in the field, for example, in agricultural farms, that is possible, where you have both, you can carry out an experiment, a control, and be able to see the effect of this fertilizer or this pesticide on what you are trying to grow. That is possible. But for human subjects, it can be a little tricky. Secondary data is easier to collect because you only refer to published information in journals, in books, or you can go to websites, internet, and you can also obtain information that way. So all these methods help a researcher to collect the data they need, the information they need to answer the research questions, ultimately address the statement of the problem they had established. Now, sample and sampling techniques. As you collect your data, it may not be possible. For example, the population that I'm interested in, there may be about 10,000 consumers of my product. Now, if I want to know about the level of satisfaction of these consumers, ideally I would interview each one of these 10,000, but that will take time and resources. Now, to be able to mitigate that, that's the time we now come to sample and sampling techniques. If you want to find out if the tea you are taking has sugar, you do not have to drink the whole cup of tea to establish whether it has sugar or not. If you take just a teaspoon, you'll be able to tell whether it has sugar or not. That is the principle behind sample and sampling. That even with that teaspoon, from a homogeneous liquid like tea, you'll be able to tell whether it has sugar, the amount of sugar it has without having to drink the whole cup. So in this sampling, well, what do we do? Since we have already said it is tedious and time consuming to obtain information from all members of a given population or clients or customers, what do? We normally take a sample, and the acceptable sample in research is between 20 and 30% of the population. So if you had 100 consumers and you wanted to get their views, instead of interviewing the 100, you only take 20 out of that 100 or 30 on the higher side, and that will be representative enough. The views you get from those 20 or 30 will represent the 100 in the population. And then we would like to look at sampling methods. So we have two sampling methods, random sampling, which we also call probability sampling, or non-random sampling, non-probability sampling. So what are these? Random sampling methods. We have the simple random, and we have restricted random sampling. Under this restricted, we have the stratified. You have strata. Maybe the strata is youth below 20 years, youth between 20 and 35, and then the other strata would be young adults or middle-aged population. So we have strata, and then from each strata we can take a sample. Then we also have the systematic sampling, and in this systematic sampling, maybe we are taking 10 of this, 10 of this, 10 of this. We have cluster sampling, and we also call it multi-stage sampling, and the details we are going to look at a later stage. Then these are non-random sampling methods, non-probability sampling. They include the following: purposive, or the judgment sampling, quota sampling, and convenience sampling. And as we come to the close of this lesson, I would like you to address this task. For each of those sampling methods that we have discussed, I would like you to state the advantages and the demerits, then the qualities of a representative sample, and then summarize the contribution of marketing research to an agribusiness firm. And with that, I would like to bring this lesson to an end. And until we meet again, kindly address the assignment, and then we can be able to continue from there. Thank you.
These televised lectures supplement our robust online learning going on our MKU online platform. You can view more on our televised lectures via our online platform. We are in a digital era, and Mount Kenya University knows this. The following are the steps to follow so as to complete your online application. Download the application form from the website www.mku.ac.ke. Attach copies of your academic certificates and ID. Pay the application fees via M-Pesa pay bill number 270988. Your ID is the account number. 2,000 shillings is the charge for a postgraduate. You can also deposit in the bank accounts provided on the website. Then email all the above to apply@mku.ac.ke.